Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat tonight. Ha ha. It is network nights. And I hope y'all just mind y'all business. No, but seriously, y'all. Mind your business. We got somebody, he's not a stranger. We got Coach Lucky in the house tonight, y'all. Come on. Together.
Hello, everyone.
Sheesh. We got 7 minutes and we gonna give it to him, y'all. Making sure all streams are checking, and they are. YouTube,
all right.
We see you. Facebook, we see you. Go ahead, tell them what it is, sis. We out here.
We're out here. We're ready. Let's do this. Let's mind our business.
Let me check Facebook real quick. Make sure we on Facebook. Come on, Facebook. If y'all there, show us some love, Facebook.
Are you recording?
Yeah, we're streaming. It's still the countdown. Oh yeah, let me send you the stream. Oh yeah, we live, baby. We are live, but we still got the countdown on. So yeah, let me send this to you so you can see the countdown.
Are you recording? Oh, wow, they could hear.
Okay, now I got the audio tracks right. Uh-oh. 5 minutes.
The tech is teching.
I hope y'all are ready for an action-packed night. Listen, we got 1 minute. We are bringing on Coach Lucky, and we got my sis, Wepa, Coach Vero in the house. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Hope y'all are ready for an action-packed night. Listen, we got 1 minute. We are bringing on Coach Lucky, and we got my shit.
All right, y'all. I cannot wait anymore. We are in the house. We are live in effect. It is network nights, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. We are all over the globe right now. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. And most of all, we are right here before your eyes in the moment with some very, very special guests, a special message, and some information of how you can get involved and become a part of something bigger than yourself and learn how to actually become the business owner that you are called to be. So without any further ado, I want to just get right into it. We got my good friends. We got Coach Lucky and Coach Vero in the house. What is going on, my partners? What is up? We are in the house.
Woo woo.
Yeah, what's going on, my dude?
Oh, man, I'm so happy that you guys are with us today. Honestly, this was, for those of you that don't know, Coach Lucky has been on here before. We have an interview. We will drop those links. And as you know, Coach Vero has been networking with us, right? So tonight is an initiative to bring together experts from, different industries, but an expert in their industry to be able to come bring a relevant message and to bring some value for you, the audience. So after Saturday, man, I'm sitting here with my wife as she's studying right now, doing all the homework that you gave us, Coach Lucky. I mean, come on. So, we are here. We are here. Coach Lucky, tell us a little bit about Saturdays and what you got going on.
Saturdays are the Saturday mindset classes. And essentially what that is bringing everyone together to kind of rattle the cage a little bit, kind of wake people up a little bit, get people to kind of think about what they're thinking about. A lot of times we're on autopilot. We have so many habitual thoughts, behaviors. We talk the same. We think the same. We just kind of repeat. It's kind of like Groundhog Day in our mind. So even though it looks like Saturday or Tuesday, we're still living the same days the same way. So Saturday is really about waking us up and getting us to be more mindful and aware of what's going on in our mind, with our minds, and so that we can be more mindful to either mind our business or mind our health or mind our relationships, just to be more aware, more conscious.
And so let me just rewind a little bit, right? So how I got introduced to Coach Lucky. Just for those of you that don't know, maybe you're tapping in for the first time. You're just seeing, our content, and you're like, hey, this looks cool. Let me give you some backstory. So, my name is Justin. I am also known as the content creating realtor, and we are on the network. And this channel has been birthed and inspired by just being able to connect with other entrepreneurs, to be able to brainstorm, mastermind. And Coach Vero is somebody that I've been networking with now for over a year. And you just know when you have certain people in your life and they say different things, and it's just like, you can't like unhear that. You're like, wow, like that was pretty deep. That was pretty powerful. And, when I first met you, Vero, it was, I was getting introduced to Shopify. That's when I launched my first Shopify store. But it's just the conversations in the background about, man, you got to meet Coach Lucky. You got to meet Coach Lucky, even to the point where like, and I don't really want to get too much into it, but like I had a limiting belief, and it's just crazy how like you remember when when a limiting belief gets identified, because it's like, wow, I never seen that. You helped me see something else. And, it was just within the way I was looking at, and I'll go there just for the sake of the audience. Like, man, this guy's confusing me. And I would like to hear some feedback, Coach Lucky. But I remember, Vero, we were on a call, and I was telling you, and like, I just remember it. And I was telling my wife about it. I said, I'm doing all these good things. The enemy's just attacking me, right? And, it's just how it is, right? It's just par for the course, right? And you were like, no, it's not. And I remember I was like, it caught my attention because you just abrupted that negative energy, right? And me not understanding it was negative energy. And you said, you're living your life a lie if you believe that every time you do good, that something bad happens. And wow, my God. And then you were like, you got to meet Coach Lucky. He would love this one, right? And I just, I really appreciate you for that, because we do have a large portion of our audience that comes from the Christian ministry background, right? So I'm going there tonight just because I know we have audience members from like that background, right? So Coach Lucky, I want you to go into that real quick, right? Like, why do we believe as Christians sometimes that because we do good, bad things happen?
I think we believe anything, especially if it comes from anyone that we trust. So if it's a teacher, if it's a parent, if we go to church, then we're taught to believe in the priests or the pastors or whatever else it is. So when we get information from a trusted source, even if it's incorrect, we learn to trust the at some point. After a while, it's just about the fact who is saying it. So as a result, we don't ever stop to question our beliefs, where we get them, why we have them, does it make any sense? And growing up that way myself, my mom took me to church every weekend, my brothers and I. And so there were a lot of things that, like I said, growing up under that authority and being taught to obey authority, especially, in our type of households and families, our parent structure is very strong. The parental hand is very strong. And so they teach you to be obedient to other authority as well, whether they're teachers at school or whether if you go to religious institutions, churches, mosques, and everywhere else. So anyway, saying all that to say, we, especially when we're young, when we get this information from people we're told or taught to trust, we just accept it without any checks and balances at all. So then they're in us so long, they're like a closet. They're like something that information that we store in the back that we don't even realize we have. And we're living on it constantly in the background of our mind. And so we're making decisions. We have beliefs and we have behaviors that are based on things that aren't even conscious anymore because we've had it and held it for so long. These truths are just like self-evident. They're just things like, of course, this is what you think. Of course, this is what it is, because you've held this truth and this belief so long, and it was put into you so early before you could question it, before you had reason, before you had enough experience in life to say, well, this didn't work. So how come you don't have enough to really fight it off or to question it. So long story short, that's why we do. And so as a result, we grew up with so many traditions, customs, beliefs, rules, and kind of dogmas that we just think they're all truth. we don't even see them as options to believe in. They're just truth. We just take them as literal truths. And so as a result, we grow up as adults and we just have these truths that we are guided by, that we are obstructed by, that we are a lot of times held down by, afraid of. So we live a life kind of in reverse while we're trying to go backward. It's like we're walking forward. We're going forward, but we're walking backward. So we're tripping over things and we're just kind of a mess for that reason.
It's just, man, like, and I really don't, I don't think, and maybe you do because you've been doing this for a while, but like, and like to both of you, Coach Lucky and Vero, like, I don't think you guys even understand, man. Like, even thinking about it's like I get a little emotional because you guys helped free me. And that was just one little limiting belief, right? Like, that was one little thing. But like, yo, I was really under the impression that, and yes, like, I'm a believer, there's spiritual warfare, but like the spiritual warfare begins in our mind and how we perceive what's going on and how we identify the situation. And I think, man, like, I know for me that I'm freed of thinking because I'm in a place now where like I haven't been, ever before, because I'm walking into things that, I never was able to do because of the fears, the limiting beliefs, the opinion of others. Right. And I think that's why maybe some people may be attracted to my content. And I really want you to narrow in on tonight the people that they have a vision, they have a dream, maybe they don't have the business yet, or maybe they do have the business and they're just afraid to talk about it. Right. Like, how can we go deeper with the content? Because I have this saying, everybody that knows me knows that I have two sayings, right? And maybe if you guys don't know, now you know, right? Two of my sayings are, every day is content day and you are the content, right? And when you really dive into you are the content, you start to realize that people are not the content because they don't like themselves, right? So how can we go deeper as business owners, as creators, to really mind our business, right? To start thinking a little bit more into our business and not like giving up so fast, if that makes sense. And I know we pivoted real quick, but I think we're on some heavy things, and it's like dismantling the limiting beliefs. And I know, Vero, you would agree, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, and actually Coach Lucky and I were having this conversation not long ago, people don't separate their personal lives with their business life. And we make this imaginary like boundary that right now we're working on personal, or right now we're working in our business. And the reality is that you have to work on yourself. And that is working in your business, because as we've all learned in Mindset Saturdays, you are your first business. You are your business, right? And in order to grow and to be able to grow your business, you have to grow yourself first.
Hello.
And I think that's something that, I've definitely learned from, Coach Lucky, and I'm implementing in my own life. And I've seen my business grow ever since I started investing in myself, whether that's a mindset coaching session, and, have multiple coaches, right? So Coach Lucky is one of my coaches. I've had Coach Bryn. I've done her program. I belong to several communities where they come and have people come and talk to us and teach, right? And that's the key to growth, is seeking the information that you desire so that you can actually live the way you want to live. And that's what we do on Saturdays with Coach Lucky.
So for a real selfish reason, I want you to give us some backstory on what it's like to live with a coach, right? Because now, we got Cynthia and she's, and I feel like, man, I'm just always like, so, trying to like, coach her, right? It's like, so I can only imagine, but like as men, as leaders, like we're really coming from a real genuine place. So how was it to transition from like, kind of feeling attacked to feeling empowered?
So, like, well, the first question was how is it living with a coach? It's living with a mindset coach is kind of like your lifestyle is mindset. We're constantly having these conversations. This isn't just something that he'll talk about and, have you guys feel good about on Saturdays. He talks about this all day, all night, 24/7. It's something that this is what he does. And I think it's helped me speed up my process and my growth because it's given me someone that I can always go to and talk to and just kind of work out, anything from like a small little oopsie to like a big oopsie, right? And not deviate in a way that it deviates, not only me emotionally, but also then affect my family, affect my business, and affect the rest of my life. So that's been pretty awesome. I actually also get to have that raw conversation. I think he does a lot of that prep talk with me too before he pumps himself up, right? So I get to hear like some raw like information before he actually, and it's really cool to hear it first like that, and then you kind of hear it just come together though, right? And like an art piece on Saturdays. So it's pretty cool,
Definitely.
Having that insight. Yeah.
And so, like, Coach Lucky, why don't you give us some insight, right? Because, I feel like, even with the platform that God has given me, right? It's like I'm grateful for it because I know that, like, the things that I went through, they weren't in vain, right? They were for a reason. And right now, I just really feel like, man, me and my wife, we went through such a hard time in the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, and it was pretty much that war against me taking on a new mindset of personal development, entrepreneurship, and then her not really understanding. So maybe if you could give some insight maybe to some men, right? Some leaders out there that, they might not look at themselves as a leader, but, as men, we're all leaders, and it doesn't, even to the man that doesn't even have any kids, right? You may be a son, a brother, but we're all called to be leaders, Coach Lucky. And I know the one thing that you ultimately teach is not how to become successful, but how to become the best version of yourself, right? So I know for me, like, my story was just staying consistent and just, continuing to plant seeds. But, like, if you could give us some depth out there for, some men maybe who, like, their wives are not where Vero's at, not where Cynthia's at.
It's hard to offer anyone anything if you don't know what you're offering. And it's hard to know what you're offering if you don't know who you are. And so many people are trying to build business. People are trying to build businesses. See, a business is not a living thing. It is run by a living being. So your business is truly a reflection of you because it doesn't exist and cannot exist without you. It didn't name itself. It doesn't run itself. It's not self-insured. It's not self-driven. It's not self-created. Like, it's all driven. It is all created by the living being. So it's only an expression of you. So whatever you are, that is exactly what it is. How much you are is exactly how much it is. So if you don't know who you are, then it's hard to, then you can't really, you can't make this thing that's relying on you any more than what you are aware of being. So first thing is always first. You can't give what you don't have. And if you have no knowledge of yourself, you can't give that to someone else. So everyone is different and everyone has something to offer, but you have to know thyself. That's the first rule, is you have to know thyself. You have to know who you are, what you are, not in perfection or in completion, but you have to have some awareness of what that is, because everyone doesn't lead the same. Everyone isn't always equipped to lead, even, in the moment. Some people are better equipped to lead given at any moment. Some people are better equipped to lead given on the situation or the circumstance. So I think a lot of times people are just trying to outperform their identity instead of, like you said, to your point earlier, where you realize, like, okay, I want to change my mindset. I want to change the collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs I had. which are dictating how I go about my life, right? So if until someone's willing to do that, just being a man is not going to help. Just being, just it's not going to help. So I think um, I think people just have to understand first that first thing is first. It's you. You have to get to know yourself. You have to spend some time with yourself. You have to know when you say Justin, what does that mean? Like really, what does that mean? What does it mean to you first? What does it mean to the people around you? When you say Disneyland, nobody thinks that's a military base. When you say, Great America, nobody thinks that's a college. So when you say a name, it means something and it stands for something. And it has to be, so when you're marketing and you're advertising, that marketing and advertising should look like the place you're marketing and advertising. Well, if you go to a marketing advertising agency and say, I'm Great America, if they don't know who that is, the first question is, well, who is that? What is that? And if you ask a person, a lot of times, okay, if you say you're this, if you say your name is Justin, well, what does that mean? A lot of people can't even say what they mean. They can't say whether they're an amusement park, a college, a business. They can't even describe themselves in a way where somebody can latch on to what they do have to offer because nobody can get it. So I think the first thing is self-identification. You have to figure out who am I, what am I, and then who is the what and I, what does that have to offer? What is that? What offering can come out of this thing, right? To an earlier question or earlier statement you made, it's there's a quote, I don't remember who said it, but it said, all the hells and all the heavens, all the gods and all the devils are within you, right? And people keep thinking there's a war outside, and the war is inside. It's just expressed outside, right? When you see somebody acting crazy on the outside, it's only an expression of what's going on the inside. And until you can calm the winds and the waves of your own mind, of your own spirit, your own soul, and your own identity, that's all that's being expressed outwardly. So I just think a lot of times people are trying to clean the windows and the inside looks insane. They're washing a car and there's no battery in it, right? It's just, you open the hood and there's nothing in there, right?
Sweeping
so I just think people...
the rug, right? Sweeping the dirt under the rug.
Right? We're just sweeping everything under. We're just like the national debt. We're just kicking it down the line, right? And sooner or later, you're going to have to pay. And so you pay now or you pay later, right? So...
And an interesting point to that, right? Because me and my wife, and like this is something, man, that like, man, and like I thank you and the academy, right? Like, because now even in my marriage, just being able to go a layer deeper, right? And like, I remember there was a time in my marriage, right? Like, and you guys are in California, so you guys haven't got the full experience, in person, right? But I'm a whole vibe when you catch me at a networking event, right? I got the gimbal out, I got the networking card out, like I'm ready to make a move, right? And like my wife for a long time, she just could not stand when I had like my equipment. Like she just, thought I was doing too much. And like, now she's the first one to be like, babe, I got your stuff, right? Like, or you want me to hold the camera? Like, and it like, we went on a date last week, right? And we like, before we even got there, it was all behind the scenes, like content, like interview style like this, but just, for us, right? Like, I could definitely repurpose that, put that out, but it was more or less like, just the experience, right? Like we're training up for something big, right? And as we were kind of diving into some of our, pain points that were, right? We both noticed that, if you don't get your mind right, you will feel the pain, right? And it's almost like that pain causes the awareness because it's like, ouch, this hurts. This stuff really hurts, right? Like, how do I get out of it? How do I, and because at that point you're at a place of pain because, things didn't work out right in all different areas, right? And it just stacks up, right? So like for my wife, right, I know that in this new season, right, like she's reflecting a lot, right? And it's a lot of reflection, right? So there's a lot of people that they're discovering this pain, right? But it's almost like they're stewing in it, right? And not saying that towards my wife, it's just that we recognize that like, wow, a lot of our friends and family are kind of in this condition, right? Like this fight or flight, negative pattern, right? And it's like, we're grateful to God that we were able to like escape that, that vicious cycle, right? That has nothing to do with drugs or alcohol, right? Like, and for anybody that knows me, like that was a piece of my past at one time, right? But like, you get to the point where like you crazy without drugs and alcohol, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
Right.
give us some thoughts on kind of like what I unloaded, basically to the point of like, if we don't make that decision, right, like we're going to end up continuously feeling the same thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are on survival mode.
That's a
And
good way.
when we are in, we've all been there, right? When we are in survival mode, we're not being rational. We make our judgments out of emotions. And I know I've been there. I've done it, and the thing is, I think deep inside, no matter how crazy we are, we definitely know that something's off and something's wrong. And that's kind of that higher self inside of us letting us know, hey, there's something else. Start looking, right? And the first thing that I highly recommend, just from my experiences, is to be kind to yourself first and foremost. Because you're not going to necessarily probably always get it right away from the first try. You're going to have to get those reps in. And as you get your reps, you'll slowly get better and better, right? But you have to continue, and not give in. Survival mode is real. A lot of people are allowing life to dictate their emotions and how their day goes and just how they live overall. And they're not taking control of themselves and their own lives by just thinking. I think like thinking is, Coach Lucky and I have had this conversation in the past. Thinking is not as common as you think it is.
Some people work hard, right? But they don't think hard, right? It's crazy.
Well, that's how we're raised to think that we're going to make something, right? We grow up hearing we have to work twice as hard, right? We have to do way more than everyone else. You have to shut up and just be good and go work a nice job, a nice stable job, right? And I think we get caught up in just everything that happens outside of us that really it's all perception, and as soon as you change how you think or reframe how you see it, you will have a completely different experience, like immediately. And that's something that's been very, very, very interesting to me.
For sure. And let me ask you this, right? What do we do when are you guys still there?
What happened?
Uh-oh, my bad. I don't know. My whole screen just went out. Sorry, guys. Oh, Coach Lucky went out. Then he came back in. That threw me off. There he is. All right, we back in the building. All right, so I'm sorry, Vero. Can you finish that last thought?
No problem. So basically, when we're stuck in that survival mode, we tend to not really pay attention to ourselves. And a lot of times, as Coach Lucky had said, a lot of our behavior and thoughts are habitual. And we don't even realize that our subconscious and our body are just kind of running the show. So those thoughts you always say to yourself over and over, those are habitual. And, you might say to yourself, oh, things always suck. When it rains, it pours. If it's not one thing, it's another. right? Oh,
Oh
I grew up
my
with
God.
Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law was the big one my dad used to say. And it's kind of like these negative thoughts that you constantly tell yourself, and then you grow up hearing it, and then you grow up saying it to yourself, and you could change that.
You know, it's crazy because as you said that, yo, it like just pierced through me because at that time, at that season, that was like my, that was my theme, right? Like, woe is me. Like, if it ain't one thing, it's another. And I remember like, I literally said that for like a whole month. And I literally attracted every single thing that came to me. I swear to you. And that's when we kind of, you had took the teacher role and you just kind of like enlightened me. And it was like, whoa. Right. So, yeah, and it's like this, right? Like when we learn to drive, we have to get familiar with the mirrors and everything. We got to get used to it. But after a while, like when we drive now, we're driving, texting, calling, eating all at the same time. It's crazy. So
Mhm.
how can we create those new patterns, so to speak, those new automatic habits, right?
Man, you just got to intentionally work on yourself. Join groups like the Mindset Saturday group, right? Be around people who are thinking the same thing, looking for growth and seeking a better self instead of, surrounding yourself with someone who's just going to be negative and bring you down.
So can you tell me who the Saturdays are for, right? Like, can anybody on this stream, because I guess like what I'm feeling is like the fire, right? It's like, how can people get involved with this group on Saturday? Because I feel like it's the best kept secret. And I know there's something else we want to talk about as well, but for somebody that's watching and they want to tap in, how can they do that? I already dropped the link below, but tell us a little bit more, Vero, about how we can get involved with Saturdays.
Yes. Mindset Saturdays are for anyone who are looking to live a better life, right? Those who want to learn how to think to live a better life. Because you're going to participate, right, Coach Lucky? You don't just get to stay quiet and listen and no, he will call you out and make you participate. So you guys can go to the mental.academy and all the information is in there.
Real quick, by any chance, Vero, do you have this pulled up on Facebook or YouTube right now? I have a video, but you'll only be able to hear it, but it's a question for Coach Lucky from earlier. But I wanted to play it, but only if you're watching through Facebook or YouTube. Are you by any chance?
I'm on YouTube. You're asking me if I'm watching it on YouTube?
Yeah. You
I
are?
have it playing on YouTube.
All right, so I'm gonna play a video. It's a video from earlier. It's with my friend Alicia. I was trying to give her the
Mm-hmm.
homework about Saturday, and I don't know if I messed it up, but it's just cool. It's interactive. Just this is for you, Coach Lucky. We have a question from the audience. That in the morning we should write down 5 things that we want to magnify. So if you were to write down 5 things that you want to magnify today, what would they be? I know we're like in the afternoon, but
what do you mean magnify? What does that mean?
Magnify, like make bigger, like for you maybe like closing deals, right? I don't know.
And does that mean just today or like in your life?
Well, it's like a daily thing, right? So 5 for the day, right? So 5 things you want to magnify today. Like for me, I want to magnify healing, right? My ankle. I didn't make my list though. I'm in trouble. But you know what? I'm gonna ask him tonight. I'm gonna ask him to specify it so that way I know what I'm talking about and I'm not like over here trying to give you bad advice.
5 things to magnify in a day. That kind of seems like a lot. I mean, I know it's a long day,
Coach Lucky.
5 things to magnify. Yeah, because that seems like a lot to me. I don't know why that seems like a big task to take on, but 5 things to magnify. If I were gonna magnify one thing today,
Do one. Give us one. I feel the magic coming out.
well, I guess today was a good test in patience. I don't know. I'm not prepared for that question. I don't know why I'm not prepared for that question.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little treat from our friend Alicia. Shout out to her. I think there's probably a lag, Vero, huh? You guys are just seeing it. So anyways, for the audience that's watching, right, we're a little delayed right here, but in the morning.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, cool. So,
I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I heard it.
So, all right, so we had okay, cool. You guys heard it. Awesome. So Alicia, she was on with us last week. I told her I was so hype about like Saturday and what some of the tasks that you gave us to do in the morning, Coach Lucky, and one of those tasks was to write down 5 things that you want to magnify in the morning, and Alicia thought it was a little bit too much. It was a little bit too serious of a task. You did say that we didn't have to write down all 5, right, Coach Lucky?
Correct.
So why don't you give us your take, right, for Alicia, because I'm gonna send this to her tomorrow. What's that assignment about? What are we doing with that?
Okay. Hold on, Larson. Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we're good. Crystal clear.
Okay. Okay, so to magnify something means to put your attention and your intention into something. So what do I want to focus on? What do I want to place my energy, my attention, my intention? What do I want to see today? What do I want to be today? What do I want to happen today? What do I want to intentionally create, intentionally experience? Most of us are living lives in reactionary mode. So we're going out and we're hoping things work out, or we're hoping something doesn't happen. We're always in some state of hope. We're never, and so I was hearing everything you were saying before my power went out on the computer, and now I'm back. But I think what people are not used to thinking, because people are not used to truly being in control of their lives and understanding that it's a mental thing, it's not a physical thing. People think because they can shave a beard, they're grown. They think because they can drive a car, they're grown. They think because they pay taxes, they're in charge or in control. But most people are just old enough to be responsible, but not mature enough to be successful. Because success is a mental game. It's not a physical game. When you go to the YMCA and you see a bunch of 8-year-olds playing basketball, they're physical as they can get. They're running hard, sweating, throwing the balls at each other. People getting hit in the face, spraining their ankles, spraining their fingers. It's just like bumper cars, right, at a carnival. It's just everybody's running into everyone. No one's doubting the effort, but everyone can understand that they don't have the mental acuity and understanding yet to be able to have spatial awareness, to be able to say, how far should I be, or how close should I be to this person? How hard should I throw something? How soft should I throw it? Can this person catch it all? All those are mental acuities and mental processes. So the physical part suffers because the mental part cannot keep up with the physical desire. So it's going 100 miles an hour, but you don't have the thought to realize there's a break. on your body or on a car. So these crash into each other. So I'm saying all that to say that most people, one of the hardest things to do, Justin, to answer your question is to get people to understand that they are the creator of their lives by the combination of the thoughts, the beliefs, and the feelings that they are dominantly entertaining. The habitual thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. We are the reflection of our family, the people we see all the time, not the people we cross on the street, walk by in Walmart, not even necessarily the people that we even work with, but the more someone is involved in our lives, the more effect they have. So the more a thought is involved in your life, a belief is in your life, the more of a feeling is in your life, the more effect it has. So what people first have to understand is that we are the creator of our lives by the combination of those three things dominantly, whatever those things are that we are putting on repeat. So once we understand we're the creator of our lives, where people make the mistake is they think that things are bigger than them. They think drugs are bigger than them. They think I'm an addict. They think I'm a this. You're not that. That's just the role you're playing. That's just the thing you're using to express an emotional state. No one can see anger inside of you. They can only see when it's expressed. So when you have a state of feeling or being or thinking inside of you, that the world is your platform. It is your canvas. It is your piece of paper. It's the place where it can be, the thing on the inside has a place to be physically expressed. That's why no matter if somebody's in depression or if somebody is angry, two different people can have the same feeling or belief and express it two different ways. Because the way we express, even though we may be feeling the same thing, the way we choose to express it is a personal thing. So we don't automatically have to be this. We are choosing what we're using to express how we're feeling, right? Drugs are no different than a spoon. It is something you're going to use to give you to express yourself. So if I want ice cream, I'm going to pick a spoon. If I want a salad, I'm going to pick a fork. If I'm going to want to cut something, I'm going to pick a knife. The things themselves aren't alive. They can't move without you. There is no cocaine chasing somebody down the street. There is no heroin, sitting on your bed talking about time to get up, right? It may feel like it, but it's not actually a living thing. You are using this thing to express a state of being within you. And when you understand that when you are in control, you can choose another thing to express yourself. The problem is that most people don't know who they are, so they believe that they're smaller than the thing that they're using to express themselves. So they think, I picked this thing up, I can't put it down. I started this thing, I can't stop. But this thing can't be alive without you. This thing, the bottle can't come off the shelf. The drugs can't come into your veins. The car can't drive itself. The things you're using to express yourself are not living without you. If you buy a car, and so when you're talking about magnifications, here's what I mean. If you buy a Rolls Royce, if you buy the most expensive car in the world, and you park it right out in front of your house, just park it right there, brand new off the showroom, and you park it right in front of your house, and you leave it there for 6 weeks, what is going to happen to that car?
It's going to get dirty.
Say it again.
It's going to get dirty.
It deteriorates. So if you naturally, without intention to maintain your car, naturally it's going to deteriorate. So people naturally are deteriorating because they're not maintaining the car. If you don't maintain that Rolls Royce, I don't care how much you pay for it. I don't care how valuable it is. You are just like that Rolls Royce. You're valuable. But if you don't maintain yourself intentionally with your attention, the tires are going to go flat. You're going to get cobwebs around the car. Your paint is going to start rusting. Your battery is going to start dying. Things are going to happen because the nature of the world is acting on that thing constantly. And if you don't put your attention with some intentionality to keep your car maintained by nature in and of itself, it's going to deteriorate. And most people are deteriorating because they're not intentionally living. They're just going out and they're saying, I'm valuable. I'm a good person. Why is this happening to me? But we understand that Rolls Royce, even though it's $500,000, it's going to deteriorate just like a $500 car. The paint's going to rust. The battery's going to die. The tires are going to go flat. Everything, the nature is going to wear on that because nature is a living thing. And if you don't intentionally live with it, it's going to live on you. It's going to live all over you. It's going to live on top of you. It's going to suck you up and spit you out. Gravity is at work. Thermodynamics are at work. Everything is at work. It's a moving locomotive. So if you're not intentionally trying to catch that bus, you're going to miss it. It's going to go by. If you don't run and chase it down, it's going to go by. If you don't run and get on it, it's going to go without you. So magnifications and expectations are essentially saying, I know I have this valuable thing called a car or called my life. I have to clean it. I have to shine it. I have to wash it. I have to keep the tires inflated. I have to keep the battery charged. I have to drive it. I have to take it to the car wash. I have to tune it up. I cannot just park this thing on the street and say, I'm a good person. This is an expensive car. And so a lot of people have a hard time doing magnifications and expectations because what it's requiring is something they're not used to doing, which is when I wake up, who am I deciding to be? You don't want anybody to tell you what to do, but you can't do a magnification. I don't want anybody to tell me who I can be, but I don't have any expectations on who I am. I don't want anybody to tell me what to eat, but I can't order my day. You see what I mean? Is that nobody wants to be told what to do. Everybody wants to look good, but nobody wants to look in the mirror. How do you do that? When you get dressed up, don't you look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm on, right? Your lady looks in the mirror and says, yeah, I'm on, right? It's the same thing. You have to intentionally dress. And then you have to look in the mirror and say, is what I thought, do I look like actually what I thought I would or what I mean to? There has to be intentionality in your living. You can't just go out here and say YOLO. You can't just go out here and throw out the get out of jail free card and say, I'm trying. I'm a good person. You bought a $500,000 Rolls Royce. You know that ain't enough. If you don't do something to it, something's going to be done to it. If you don't do something to life, it's going to be done to you because life is a living mechanism. It's a living organism. And if you are not intentional about what your attention is focused on in any or every area of your life, life is going to take everything from you because life comes for everyone, but it conquers the unprepared.
My God. Ladies and gentlemen, man, Coach Lucky, you just really, you brought the house down with that. And it kind of lays a great foundation, right? So I guess like where I'm at in my life right now is like, you know, if I can be exposed to something, I have a chance, right? And that's kind of like what me and my wife have been exposed to being a part of the Lucky Mental Academy is like some serious mindset shifting and some mindset work. And no, we cannot hear you, Barrow. But Coach Lucky, you have a challenge coming up, right? And I know like even tonight, right? Tonight is not on here for you to try to even really promote your challenge. Tonight is really on here to network, to tap in, right? But I feel like it's like I want my audience to know. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's a speaker.
There you are. There you are.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the challenge that we're having while he gets the speaker going, the challenge that he's having is the challenge of being you. Sheesh. And it's a 3-day challenge. It starts on June 20th. And man, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be lit. Hopefully we get Coach Lucky back with the sound. We're good? Let's see.
Tell him to go.
It's going to be.
Tell him to go to the settings and then go to the audio settings and just change it.
Yeah.
See, I'm over here. The devil don't want us to win, man. What's going on? Yeah, Coach Lucky, go down to the audio, hit the settings, and then try to fix the microphone settings. The challenge of being you.
Yes, the challenge of being you. He's going to have some deep dives. We're going to be covering.
And what's
Well,
like the
not we, but he.
structure? What's like the structure of it? So it's going to be 3 days. What are the times?
So it's going to be a 3 days starting June 20th through the 22nd. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's just for an hour each day, so it's just not too much of your commitment time. And we're gonna start with Tuesday, unearthing the business of you. The Wednesday is going to be unlocking powerful communications and fostering relationships. And the last day is going to be committing to personal growth and continuous learning. And these days are going to be action packed with Coach Lucky's wisdom. He is going to be just doing what he does best. And this is an opportunity to really dive deep into yourself and learning how to just, learning some crucial information that will help you just reach your desires and reach your goals. Make a difference by actually intentionally working on yourself.
Yeah, and I know I'm excited, and like honestly, it's just so cool, right? Like my wife heard it in the background one day and was just like, and she could not stop walking by, and then like later on she started asking me questions about who is that, and like she already watched our podcast before, so she was familiar, but oops, my bad. But she was just so into it that I was like, yeah, let's get in this. I introduced her to you, and from there we just been hooked. And we're looking forward to the challenge because I've been in a lot of courses, I've been in a lot of programs, masterminds, and I have never got the level of, I guess, just depth that we get from Coach Lucky. So I'm so grateful to be a part of that. And that's kind of why I wanted to bring him on, both of you guys on to Network Nights, to just give the audience a sneak peek behind the veil of what's going on Saturdays and kind of what's going on in the Lucky Mental Academy, and why should you follow Lucky and why should you follow Coach Vero. And it's because they are in the business of really just helping people and going deep. So we are super excited for this challenge. And is our audio good? Are you still there with us, Vero?
I'm here. I think his
Gotcha.
speaker, his speaker situation is not working, so he can hear us. But we have a couple things going on. So for the mindset coaching area, we have our Mindset Saturdays, and we have the which is every Saturday we get together, and it's in the mornings. It's a great way to start your day. And it's free to join right now. We're not charging right now for
Right
that.
now.
So we're
Right now.
right now.
Right now. It's not
Well,
going
right
to be for
now.
long.
But yeah. And then so after that we're doing the challenge of being you, and that's where Coach Lucky is going to be having a really intimate coaching sessions for those 3 days with those who join the challenge.
And tap in with the
also,
EMGC, baby. What's up with it?
Yeah. So for our business owners also who want to, work on scaling their business. So yes, you got to work on yourself. You have to work on your mind. But now, what are the strategies that you need in order to move the needle in business? What you can do is you join us, and it's our biweekly e-commerce growth masterclass. We kicked it off 2 weeks ago, And we started with the customer avatar workshop, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. This Friday, we are actually, in the topic of mindset, we are actually going to have Derek Lamar talk about the psychology of sales.
Sheesh.
He's also a mindset coach who has 30 plus years experience in sales. So he's going to be breaking down some real good strategies for us. The simple things like the colors you're using, right?
He was on here. He was on here last week telling us, and
yes,
I'll tell you what, sis. Like, I can't even look at my websites and stuff right now. That's why I was talking to you about earlier, because it just got me all jacked up. Because I'm like, man, we got to go deeper now.
I think Coach Lucky is back, so he can talk about what he'll be, doing in the challenge. I kind of read off the main topics that you'll be covering in the meantime, but I really want him to also speak on it.
Go ahead, Coach. Drop it on us.
It is essentially getting everyone to understand that they are their first own business, that they are their first economy, they are their first sale, they are their first customer, they are their first avatar. All the things that they would attribute to someone else, they are that first. And so when someone can have a better understanding of themselves, their gifts, what they have to offer, knowing who they are and what they are then able to convey those gifts to the people that they're dealing with. So it's essentially just getting people to just turn on their consciousness and be able to, in every area of their life, almost like when you go into a home, if you have 5 bedrooms, the rooms are meaningless if they're dark, right? Every time you go into a room, you want to turn a light on. And if you have a room where you can only turn one light on, only one light works in the whole house, all the other ones are essentially useless. And so if you take that light metaphorically and say, okay, in every area of my life, if I can turn the light on so I can see what's in here, so I can see what's really going on, so I can really get an understanding of what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what's in here, what I need to fix or add or take away or clean up, the more access to different areas of my life that I can get by being conscious, by being aware of what I am, what it is, what I'm thinking, and all that different stuff, the more of that I can turn on and turn up, the more of that I can use. Now I have access to all the rooms in my house instead of a big house, but only one room that's accessible. And a lot of times people are only using one aspect of their mind, and they're trying to use it for everything. And there's different rooms for different reasons. You're not supposed to be in your bathroom trying to cook. I mean, there's only so far a hot place going to work over a kitchen, over a bathroom sink, over a stove. You're not supposed to be in there trying to, read your kids a bedtime story. You're not, there's just certain places. Each room has its own value and it's built to do certain things, right? And so there's different aspects and concepts, aspects of our mind that are designed to be used: our consciousness, our subconsciousness, our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs. There are different aspects of ourselves that are designed to be used for different aspects of life. And once we understand what we are, what we have, how those things are to be used, that is up to us to use them and how we use them, just like blinkers on a car, like a stove. No, you don't let your kid go to a stove and start using things because they don't know what they're doing, right? And so it's the same thing. A lot of people's emotions are out of control. They don't know how to use them. They just turn the pilot on and walk away and house burned down. Then they say, I just can't help myself, right? I just can't stop. I can't help myself. I had to say that, or whatever else it is, right? So saying that to say, it's essentially a 3-day thinking camp. It's a 3-day brain camp. It is 3 days of talking to you about you and getting you to understand and be aware of, give you a glimpse into some of yourself, right? It's not enough for you to know everything, but it's enough to say, man, I didn't know that. Well, what else don't I know? And just getting people to start considering that there's more than meets the eye.
Man. Jeez. I feel like I just went on a brain camp just by the demo right there, because you hit just a lot of things right there within that like, man, I'm so grateful to know you, man. I'm so grateful to to be able to take the role as a student, within what you're out here teaching, and it's not even just teaching, it's what you're imparting, right? Because when you speak, you are imparting, not just, you're not just saying words, right? And this is one thing I wanted to bring up real quick, right? Is like, being able to, like you're talking about, monitor that consciousness, right? And that's the thing about, like, when we surround ourselves with the company we keep, right? Like, if we're around negative people, this is the thing, right? We, like, our souls are tape recorders, right? And when somebody speaks, we can't just turn the tape recorder off. So that's why we just got to get away from those type of people, right? Because we're downloading information every single day, right? And what you're trying to do within this challenge is download a new set of beliefs and thought patterns. Is that kind of the deal?
Yeah. I mean, it's, one of the first things I hammer into people like is that there's a reason your name is on your birth certificate. There's a reason your name is on the insurance. There's a reason your name is on the driver's license. There's a reason your name is on your report card. If you took all those things and you had a business, you named the business, you bought the insurance is in your name. You set the prices for your business, the hours of your business. You do that because it's your business. So if all those things were true in life and all these things are under your name or with your name on them, then whose job is it to control this situation, to monitor this situation, to get this situation under control? That's what being an adult is. An adult is now when you step into this role and say, I now understand that not only is this all me and all mine, so to speak, it's my life, but now I am the captain of the ship. I am now the head honcho. I've taken this role from my parents, or this reign from my parents, while they were holding it for me, while they were helping me grow up so one day I could take the lead, or I could take the leash and walk this thing myself. So one of the things I have to really drill into people is to get them to wake up enough to understand, like, this is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. We're not here to blame you. We're just here to get you to understand this is on you, right? And that if you don't take control, there's no one else to do that. If you don't take the lead, there's no one else to do that. And most people are trying to lead lives that they're not willing to be responsible for, that they're not capable of being responsible for, that they are afraid to be responsible for. And as a result, they're never able to succeed with. So that's essentially that's kind of what we're going to start drilling into for those first couple of days.
Almost like if you knew better, you would do better, so to speak, right?
Yeah, correct. Correct. Yeah, correct. Well, a lot of people know, I mean, we could go on and on, but yeah, a lot of times, but even that half the time is not true, because a lot of times people don't believe they can do better, even if they know better. I mean, we have kids, right? We tell them, you can do it. And they're like, yeah, anyway, right? They're like, yeah, you say that, right? So sometimes it's not that we're not told or we don't know, but it goes back again to our self-concept. It goes back to our self-esteem. It goes back to all the things about ourselves. If we don't know who we are, or we don't value what that is, or if what we're trying to do is above what we believe ourselves to be, or the value we have of what we are, it doesn't matter what someone else believes. We're the one that has to do it. It's our life. At some point, we have to take it. So, yeah.
Man, listen, folks. Coach Lucky, Coach Veronica, man, I really appreciate your guys' time tonight. And we've been on here now for like an hour and 11 minutes, just diving into some stuff, right? Like, this content is just going to be so valuable within the transcripts, within the repurposed content, just because there's so many golden nuggets in here. But with respect to your guys' time, as well as the audience over here, it is getting time for that bedtime. Trying to implement some of these strategies early in the morning and be able to dive at it and magnify my day in a way that I want and I'm in control of. And man, listen, like I need you guys, like if you engage with this video, if any of this clicks anything in your head, right, just check out the links below. Get it for free Saturday. Just join in, because I'm sure that some of these topics and things, they struck a chord right there. So, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe. Get around with people that you align with, that you can grow with, that you can learn with. Our general manager, shout out to Remax affiliate, my guy Tom Patterson. He teaches the importance of being able to have people that you can learn around, right? Because when you're taking the position as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you need to have a place where you can learn and grow. So I know for me and my wife, that's the Lucky Mental Academy on Saturdays, and being able to just experience some of the smaller gains in a short period of time. Like, I'm just like, wow, like I can't wait to see the compound interest from being a part of this community. As you know, Vero knows, she's a part of several online communities, but even where we met, the morning meetup, shout out to the morning meetup family. And yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the challenge, and I'm just so excited for, you know, just all the future collaborations and different things that me, you, and Vero do, because you guys hold a special place in my life and my business. So any closing words before we get out of here, Coach Lucky or Vero?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. I hope to see everyone on Friday for the e-commerce growth class sessions, right? The psychology of sales.
Yep, that
and
will be
you guys can,
below as well. That link will be
below. Tap in with me. Don't sleep on this, because you guys you can work on yourself, but then just work on the strategies to get your business there too. All right.
Come on, listen. Come on, we out here. Sheesh. Man, I appreciate y'all. Coach Lucky, go ahead. Just give us, you know, one nugget real quick before we end out. Just something to close with.
Like Jim Rohn said, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
There you have it.
If you do that, if you work on yourself, you'll make a living. If you work at your job, you'll make a living. If you work on yourself, you'll make a fortune.
Sheesh.
Like that.
Listen, y'all, this was Network Nights. This was a fabulous night minding our own business, and I hope each and every one of you really take an opportunity to mind your business, think about your business, and use some of these strategies, techniques to be able to go to the next level, then be able to scale, and then